global economy, wealth, evolution, relationships, industry, quality of life, country, GDP, world trade, world trade. In its balance requires feminine embodied in a woman to naturally be herself. Speak her voice on what she wants. Industry naturally will blossom. I want you to hear something very important. One of the greatest changes in world economics and economy came in the 1990s-ish, 2000s, kind of more 2000s. Yeah, let's say 2000s, is the daytime hangout spot for normal people, not just the highest of wealth. Because the highest of wealth naturally do this. I'm talking about majority of the population. There was not really a place outside of the home that was a social connection, a place to sit, daydream, or sit and work on something important. A place that you can go and just be yourself outside of the home and feel comfortable. A place where you can meet a friend or a potential business partner. You can sit by yourself and feel good. Or you can have a table full of people coming together for a community purpose, maybe. A place that doesn't require a certain set of standards and values. It's more open, as long as you respect the company and the space that is around you. This hasn't really been something that has been done well until a certain new thing came around, and it was called coffee shops. You know, it was something where someone could go and meet up and have something. Coffee shops and bakeries. But coffee shops really took this and just took it to the next level. It took it to a place where you can go and sit and have a coffee, and you can do it by yourself. Or you can meet a friend. And it didn't just make it in one place. Many European cities have had this for a long time because it is something that is of wealth to do. But the rest of the world didn't understand its importance to get out of the house, put yourself together, and go and be alone. Or go and meet a friend. Or be alone for a while and then meet a friend. Or go outside and get some work done. But when this was turned into something that was a phenomena, instead of just for the wealthy, it became something the rest of the world wanted to have. There are coffee shops in Vietnam that never used to exist. Maybe bars or, grandma's house. But there wasn't the cafes that they have now. Korea, cafes, incredible. These places where people come to and can sit down and have an Instagram moment with their friends, or they can sit down and read a book. This was because the feminine in a woman's body was sitting at home, wanting to connect with friends, but not wanting to invite them over. They wanted to get dressed and go somewhere, but they had nowhere to go. They wanted to still put their family first, but they didn't know how to just go somewhere for an hour or two instead of half of a day or a full day trip. Because, you'd go to a museum or you'd go to a theme park on a Saturday with the family, but what about during the week? And in these feminine women are sitting at home with not much to do other than take care of their family, and it's something they enjoyed, but there's this deep desire within inside of themselves. And because these women were listened to, and through their very listened and learned partners, they decided to create an industry on something they knew about, which was coffee or baked goods, bakeries that you can sit and have a cup of tea. The wealthy knew these things, but the rest of the world did not. And please don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about your actual personal wealth. I'm talking about society and culture within each and every country. And I'm not demeaning your culture in any ways, but the way we operate as cultures determines the wealth of the country. And the country cannot grow in a higher richness and wealth without the systems and the economy put in place for the people to naturally flow through. Like the ants that we all are in an essence. We just go here and go there, and we do what we do. And when things are made available to us, then it's like, oh, that's new. Let's enjoy that. So when these entrepreneurs listened to their wives and they went, hey, this is a wonderful experience. We need to do more of this because you, as the feminine in a woman's body who inspire me, let's do this. They knew about the industry they knew about, so they created something that they thought was a beautiful invention. But it was really a calling from the feminine in a woman's body. She's calling out for change. She doesn't want to sit at home while her kids are at school and her husband's at work. She wants to do something that's, put on her nice earrings and go out. Or she wants to do a little, knitting business or a knitting club, and she doesn't want to open her home. This was the desire. And when a few men listened to this, an entire worldwide economic boom happened. Because not everything that the wealthiest people do translates into something that other people can do. But when the feminine in a woman's body is truly at ease, in an essence almost bored, her internal desires feed where industry will be. But if she does not feel like her voice is important, if she does not feel safe in her house, if she feels thwarted in her house, if she feels abused in her house, those things will not come out because she is not bored. She is worried about tomorrow. She is planning her escape from her abuser. She is having to apply for jobs so that she can make ends meet. She is trying to stand firm because no one will listen to her, and she's tired of that being the case. So she's hustling. Giving away the most valuable thing a nation has is the inner voice of a woman that just naturally floats out into the environment for the driven entrepreneur to pick up in his creativity and make work with the tools that he has. To transpire an entire valuable asset that went from coffee shops and bakeries to restaurants becoming more easy to have small luncheons instead of the 2-hour lunch that you go to with the guys. You can pop in and out. We do appies out. Like there's these things where you can come and you can meet. People got accustomed to coming out of the house for a short little thing. It changed the minds of people. The wealthiest people will always desire more wealth. And so they will create things that invoke change within the entire landscape, which then starts economy. It empowers people. Because now all these women get to go out and put on their best and feel good. And they had coffee with Rita at lunchtime. And then it was like this fabulous thing. And they can do that because it fits in the budget. And then they don't have to open their home. And then they can go get their kids and they feel good and they feel connected. And, Suzanne has her knitting club and they knit at home. You understand me? It invokes more everything within every single country. But you also have to make it safe for her to get from her house to the coffee shop without harassment, belittlement, disgrace, and disgruntlement. And this is where a lot of countries fail because they don't value safety for the woman. They value them staying at home. They value making them become something that they're not. They value the woman to do the man's job. They value all these things that stop the wealth from flowing through the country. And when a country doesn't truly focus on the feminine energy in a woman's body and what she needs for that to blossom, they fail as a country. And when you fail as a country, you have to go to war. Because you got to try and keep what's yours instead of just naturally allowing everything to replenish itself like this system of water. How does the river mouth always get fed? It just does. And when you know the science behind it, you know the science behind it. But it does. That's the same thing. This is why when we start breaking down certain things that uphold the feminine energy in a woman's body, by telling her that she's second class, by telling her that she's no longer special because we can make you in a lab, by telling her that she's not good enough if you don't have this lip brand. The countries need to get to making laws to uphold feminine energy in a woman's body specifically. Because when you start breaking down that specific thing, you get women's bodies with masculine energy, or you get women's bodies so traumatized because they decided to try and change genders and they're confused, and there's mental illness, and then there's trauma, and then there's more war, and then there's more problems. You have to keep the standard of the feminine energy in a woman's body. And when you look to that and maintain that and keep that safe through health, wellness, programming, advertisement, social standards, safety, values, laws, how you support women like that. So when they call, how do they get uplifted? And I'm not saying woman with masculine energy. No, I said woman in feminine energy. Know the difference. There's a huge difference. Because the abrasive and judgmental woman is masculine. The supermodel is masculine. The overcovered woman is masculine, oppressed. There's no value. She doesn't value herself. She sees herself as an inconvenience and something that shouldn't shine. There's an internal programming that needs to be seen. She can be modest. There's nothing wrong with modesty. But there is also an expression of oneself that needs to be allowed. She needs to be allowed to speak and be her 100% self. She shouldn't be afraid that if she says, I want this, and it doesn't fit with the culture, that the man doesn't beat her because he has ownership. That shouldn't be the case. She should feel fully like this beautiful river of herself, completely comforted and known. If you want wealth, you want to increase your GDP in your country, you look to the feminine energy in a woman's body, and you look at that and you design your whole world, your whole economy, all of your laws about making sure she feels good, and you will have the wealthiest country there is out there. And if all of the countries in the world start attuning to this value, then world economy won't be war. World economy will be, I have trees and you have saw blades. And we both need to work together with the value that we provide to create timber. But currently in the world, you have trees, which makes the stuff, but over here we have saw blades. So we're going to make you sell your trees at the lowest rate possible because we want to make you desperate to have a contract with us so that you can sell your product and continue making the stuff that you do. No, No. No, it can't. It can no longer happen like that. Because that makes no industry feel good. The end user is becoming so in tune with how practices are. They not only want sustainable farming, but they want the people who farmed to be fed well. Like, fair trade is a real thing. And do the people who grow the fruits and vegetables need to have as much as the carpenter that made the case for the fruits and vegetables? Which is more important? Like, you need to start to really understand what the value of things are. And when you understand that you can sell the fruits at a higher price point because it has a cute carton, because the feminine woman wants to buy cute fruits and vegetables that's been freshly washed and is sitting in a bed of, I don't know, grass. Yeah, let's put some chia grass on the bottom and put some little vegetables in this little wooden carpenter box. And now you can sell 3 pieces of fruit and some chia something for $20 and call that smoothie of the day. And then you can bring back your carton, your little wood carton, and they repackage it. And you become part of a loyalty program. That woman, she will buy that thing every time because it looks nice. It's put together good. You have a consistent customer. Somebody who's utilitarian will say, the man who has the carpenter thing, he's of no use. We're just going to sell the fruit as is. Okay, go ahead. That woman's not buying the fruit because she doesn't see how it enriches her life. But when she can see the thing in front, oh gosh, she wants it. And now she doesn't just want it once. Now she wants that smoothie every day, and she goes and gets the little package every single day at lunch. And now she's gone and bought a blender to put in her office, and she puts the thing in, and she loves the thing because she loves making it herself. It's so cute, and you get me. And if it's not in her office, then it's at home, because you get what I'm saying. There's so much value in putting things together. And if it's not the cute little thing, because you're a man and you don't get that, then you listen to the woman that you've given authority back to. She has all the authority to be what she wants to be. But you also let her know she doesn't get to have male friends because you're the man for her, and she's cool with it because she's so comfortable with being herself that she doesn't need that validation from anyone else other than the one she chose, because she chose correctly. She doesn't need to be the world's friend. She just needs to be herself. This is why I said feminine in a woman's body, because a feminine in a woman's body doesn't really want male friends. She doesn't want all the things. She wants what truly enriches her life. And when you look at her and you provide a space where she feels great, the males will automatically tune to that and create more industry. And if the males don't do it, then the females will find a way to do it themselves. Like me. There was no male out there that would give me the allowance to have my voice be heard in a normal tone range. And I'm not a person who's going to yell. I'm not a person who's going to do something to get what I want from people. It's not my thing. If you can't hear me as I am, my company's not yours. So I did it myself. When you create economies where if a woman can't find a man in masculine energy to be that she can do it herself, then the males have a new standard of female to attune to. It will naturally change the entire landscape of your country, which then changes the landscape of the world. Because when a country says no to another country's belittlement, things start to change. And I know some of you have seen the world change. There's a reason for it. I allowed the feminine energy to speak again in places that you don't know. As she feels good because she's speaking again. The feminine energy in a female is very, very, very important. Because it always rids what does not work just by not wanting it. It's the stuff that ends up on sale, that ends up going in the dumpster. Nobody wants that stuff. You, as a country leader, as a person of prominent position, or wherever you are in whatever community you're in, understand and know the inner voice of a feminine energy embodied in a woman's body is the gold. Please understand the difference. Not a masculine, abrasive bully. No, this is my space and I want to make it beautiful. And I want to be the best possibility that life offers. She will naturally communicate everything to you. And if you choose to not make her feel great and you want to manipulate her, you put her in masculine energy automatically, no matter how sweet she is. She could be the sweetest thing in the whole wide world, but she changes. She comes out of that sweet energy and she gets into this I'll do it myself energy. And as soon as she's done that, she's taken you out of the equation, whatever man in a masculine body that you are. And don't try and take up masculine females and make them feminine. That will break your heart. As soon as you impress your ideas on a feminine energy, it becomes masculine because you solidify it instead of allowing it to flow. This requires masculine men in their most secure self to deal with the wind, to deal with the water, to deal with the fire. Everything revolves around this. Every law should uplift this. And if you are creating laws that walk outside of the natural form, then you're not making her feel safe. You're making her question herself. And as soon as you make a feminine energy in a woman's body question herself, she becomes masculine energy. When you make her fight, she becomes masculine energy. When you make her build, she becomes masculine energy. When you use her, she becomes masculine energy. When you abuse her, she becomes masculine energy. When you confine her, she becomes masculine energy. When you oppress her, she becomes masculine energy. It requires a valuable state of being to be a feminine energy in a woman's body. That is the most natural, beautiful thing. And it can be everywhere when you create the right environment. By putting the right laws in place, by making sure that people's belief systems have the sense of natural living within inside of them, not conformity and structure. If you want all of the men only to go to religious studies, then maybe that's okay. But if you're trying to impart anything on the feminine in a woman's body, it requires an array of options and a voice to be heard. It will be sometimes the most obscure things. Like she'll be, I don't like when my foot touches the tile and it's cold. Boom. In-floor heating created worldwide phenomena. She's sitting outside on a chair and she's like, honey, wouldn't it be great if we could capture the energy of the sun? And we wouldn't have to pay such a high electric bill. Boom. Solar panels. This is life. And it comes from a feminine energy in a woman's body. This entire planet will be a beautiful and valuable place when we get this. when the structures uphold this, when the religious systems all dismantle and allow people to understand the bricks that make them up so they can build their own. They can see what happens instead of hiding things behind closed doors and controlling people like puppet strings. You can't grow, nothing can evolve. Having classified documents of valuable findings in the hands of masculine males who want to use it to drive industry while people are suffering. And their voices are literally justice in the air like arrow darts coming down, creating war. So when you have a feminine energy in a woman's body at the board of directors, she's gonna go, guys, we can't do that. That screws with more than you understand. Let's shift our perspective. We can earn just as much money, but we do it this way. And then there's no people screaming and begging in their sleep for help and justice because classified information was used for greed instead of to heal the nation and to help the nation. The worldwide. When you truly create government systems that uphold this, you won't have classified places where people can do rat-bat things. You're not going to be transporting humans from one place to another so that you can profit off of them. You're going to take your resources and you're going to focus on, when people come to your doorstep, how do you create great programs to change people's mentality from we're going to use this land so that we can get what we want and we're never going to be happy here, to how do you integrate the mentality, the social status, the everything so that the women are happy and the men understand how to treat the woman. And then we have this beautiful melting pot of different cultures, and you have Little Italy, and you have, Chinatown, and you have all these places that celebrate the greatness. When you have technologies in your hand that are meant to give you insight in how the human is formed, and you use it well, wealth will be yours infinitely. And when you put it behind a closed door and you threaten anyone who tries to release that information, you become a bully. And now you also create war. It will only be a matter of time before everything crumbles, because nothing can be held down forever. And one of the most important things that will never be held down and will always find a way is feminine energy. Because it is the energy that is, yes, very vulnerable, very soft, but it is also one that can do it itself. Watch how the whole world, laws, order, currency, economy, structures of every kind change. And the reason it's changing is because the feminine energy in a woman's body was not respected. It was not valued. It is now. It is now. And all who come against that will be without. Can't even sell it on the sale rack. So to my governments, to my organizations, to the people that are at the top making things happen, I know you listen to me. Look to the feminine energy in a woman's body and see what is competing with her. Get rid of it. Don't allow it. Make laws against it. Preserve the feminine energy in a woman's body, and you will recover. All recovers. It doesn't matter what your mind is going to tell you. The world has already changed, and you see it in everything. I want the entire landscape of reincarnation to be a pleasant process for both woman and man. And this is the key that I am giving you at a no barrier cost, so that you truly, deeply, profoundly get who I am. This is for you also to see the value that comes after barriers. I have one specific membership that is systems broken down. So as I have explained this system to you in lots of different formats from different facets of the diamond of this piece of valuable information, so I can see how the energetics of systems are naturally just like the air that is in front of you. Many different videos just like this, I have taken a system and I break it down. This is something that would be of great asset to you to see the things I have chosen to share with you, so you can add more value to both the economy that you are in, the spiritual systems that you're in, and your own understanding of yourself and the power that is required for you to continue to uphold the position that you have. So this particular aspect of my service, it is all about global systems energetics. And so it goes everything from how different spiritual systems, occult systems, all the different things, but it is a paid barrier. And then as well, I have the two other services, which are more on the deeply on the personal side of how things are. This is what I truly am excellent in expressing, and I want you to be better at your job, to be better at doing the things that excite you with these systems, with these keys of knowledge to help you continue to perform as the position that you are, that is not exactly easy to understand all the ins and outs. Thank you for taking the time to go through this entire video and listen to the reasonment, to the findings, to the value that is presented with this one particular key piece of how to increase and bring value to the economy, the civilization, the culture, the country, the organization that you're in.